Ill-fated treasure hunts can lead to long-term losses. Who wants to lose some money? Oh, I do! Hey guys, welcome back. MTG Moxman here. Thanks for hanging out on the channel with me today. And hopefully you're not going to lose a lot of money. I hope it's not going to happen. But I have some information from some LGSs that you guys are trading in some of your hard-earned, cracked cards to hopefully get your hands on some double masters. So today on Card Watch, we're going to be taking a look at some of these cards that people are giving up to get their hands on double masters cards, the pre-release pricing. I get it, but you're giving up some good loot, and there are cards you should be watching and paying attention to. Every time you crack a pack, you're playing a lottery game. You against the house, and most times the house wins. But the odd time you get some amazing card inside that pack, you lose interest after a while, and you trade it in, only to come back a year or two later and realize that you want to build a new deck and you still need that card. It's the worst feeling, which is why I go with the rule of I've always got to keep 4. Even if it's a commander deck, I keep 4 copies of a card I like just in case. And if I think I can get it cheap, I'll go 4 for keeping and 4 for trading or flipping or doing whatever with later on. That's the investment side of the Moxman saying, I got to have a little extra. I got to have a little extra. It's the hoarding notion of the Moxster to keep things going. That's how Moxman feels about it. But you guys are all different. We all have different opinions on this stuff, and it happens. I've seen it day in and day out. And when I ask the LGS about a few sales figures and you start probing around, there's a nasty little pattern happening. When you guys go treasure hunting for cards, you're like, I need this and I need this. But you're trading away packs you just opened in things like Commander Legends and Streets of New Capenna, all the way back to things like War of the Spark. So let's go ahead, take a look at some of these cards you should be watching and why you shouldn't be trading them in just yet. The first card we're talking about is Ancient Copper Dragon Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate. The price right there, the average is $61.44 US. This is not a card I would have recommended trading in or getting rid of at this time. This is a card that I'd be willing to take the roller coaster ride and see where it goes. And let me explain. We know that Battle for Baldur's Gate got cannibalized by Double Masters. We know what's happening there. That means a lot of this product is not going to be open for the long run. We know how difficult the mythics are to get inside this set. Wizards made mythics special again for this particular set, which means all the ancient dragons I would be holding on to. I would not be getting rid of any of those ancient dragons if you happen to have them. Who knows where the ride's going to go, but you spend hard-earned money buying it, you might as well take the ride and see where it ends up. Because this card, I really don't believe, along with a lot of the dragons, they are going to hold a lot of future value, I believe, just because the set is skewed so one way right now, and so many boxes are not going to be open to add stock onto the secondary market. Now, our next card is an offer you can't refuse. This is going to be a staple in a lot of people's decks, and it's getting ignored a lot right now to people's detriment. This card is only $1.72 US. It is very affordable. I do recommend getting a playset of 4. At $8 for your playset in Canadian dollars, that is going to be very cheap. You'll get it out of the way, unless you already happen to have a playset from opening them. But after you have your playset of 4, I wouldn't really trade it in. That way you've got your standard stuff, you've got stuff you can use for modern, not to mention you can put one in a commander deck if it's a card you're going to use. It is a very versatile counterspell, even giving yourself those nice little treasure tokens yourself by countering your own stuff if you have to, depending on what your needs are. This is a card that's going to have some flexibility and utility going forward, and I just don't see, Streets New Capenna's done. People, they've lost their eye for it. It's moved on as well, guys. So cards like this are not going to come around as often as people think. And per box, I think I got 2 in a box. So it's not everywhere. People, Wizards knew it was a decent card. So don't expect it around the corner. And if it goes the way of Deadly Dispute, it's going to start rising in value given the next, 4 to 6 months. Now our next card is Xanders Lounge. And I'm talking about this in the context of all of these Triome style lands from New Capenna. Look what's happening to the price. Look. The backdraft has come, the fire has been sucked in, and then it got let out in one big burst, and this price has collapsed. We remember talking about this in Ikoria when these cards hit $4 US. This card is bottoming out. People did buy at a higher price. It's been sinking down. And just like Ikoria, the price is continuing to fall. Pay attention to this. Get these cards when they're cheap. People right now are looking on their treasure hunt of collecting other cards right now, and they're forgetting the staple cards that are going to be needed for your deck construction. Mana base is so important. You can't forget these cycling lands. They add too much versatility to a deck that you really shouldn't be overlooking them just to get a flashy card. Those flashy cards will be around in 9 months, but these prices are not going to be here in 9 months, so it's something you need to focus on once in a while and get your eye back on the ball of the cards you need to have for future deck construction, where the flash cards will take some time to come down as new product is opened. These ones are already, a couple of months old. I know, imagine that, just a couple of months. All right, cards like Questing Beast, Throne of Eldraine. Out of print, hasn't been around for a while. Very beautiful card. Loved playing with it. But remember the cards like this really kind of touched a new power level. 2 green plus 2 generic, and it was a 4/4 with vigilance, death touch, and haste. And if it did damage, it was doing direct damage to planeswalkers, and that's insane. Okay, this guy has way too many things going for him. I don't expect a reprint anytime soon. He was used in all kinds of decks. Trading these in for $3 or $4 is just wrong. Don't do it. Hold on to the card. You may need it for a future deck. At least keep yourself one if you have it. And don't give cards like this up. Don't give them into the LGS in case it comes around again that it's a very versatile and card that gets a lot of play. You never know where a card like that's going to go. It's a real powerhouse pack and punch card. Add a few pieces of equipment and things to it from future construction, from sets we don't even know exist yet. You see what I mean? You just don't know. Don't trade that stuff in. Now our next card today is going to be the Imperial Recruiter. This is a card people should be buying. It got bottomed out in Modern Horizons 2. It's at an all-time low, $6.73 US. Look where this guy ended up. And there's like full art fancy versions. There's a cool promo version you could go after, but that's like $80, $90 US. Or you can even try to find an OG original. Yes, it's going to cost like $150, $160, but it just shows you how the original is so rare compared to the reprints and it holds value. But buying 4 of these for $24 should be on your mind. Look at the market price of this. Wizards is going to let this card slowly gain in value. They're not going to reprint it anytime soon. They know they've just battered this card down. So it's probably a safe bet to pick up a few play sets of 4, hold on to it, to use in decks, to use for future trading value as it slowly gains in value over the next 24 to 48 months. It will take time, but this card will recover. Wizards is not going to bash it any lower. We know we're not getting another Modern Horizons set probably for another year, and I doubt it's going to be inside there at Mythic level, right? Now our next card is going to be Spark Double, and this is kind of a surprise. Now I remember using this all the time in War of the Spark. It was an amazing card because it copied creatures or planeswalkers, which was just amazing, and it made it like a non-legendary. I was tapping all kinds of cards for this. It was an epic time. And it is not bottomed in price. If anything, it's slowly gaining in value. So if you have this card, I do not recommend giving it away. If anything, maybe buying an extra copy if you don't have one. This might be a good time to get in there. War of the Spark is getting older. It's out of print. It got opened all over the place, so there is probably lots of copies out there. But the sealed boxes do contain quite a bit of value of cards people enjoy. When you look at this card now and you realize it's around the $10 mark still after all this time, it is being played, it is being used. I'm not going to trade any copies in I have, and I do have a playset, which I kept from when I was playing in this format back when it got out there. Standard was a good time there. I didn't get to play in stores a lot, but you know what? I had a lot of fun with friends. It's just not a card I'm willing to let go because I don't know what Wizards is going to do for a reprint for this or if it would come back around. Now our next card is Esper Sentinel. This is not a buy yet. This card is starting to trend downward as money gets sucked out of Modern Horizons 2 and into Double Masters. Give this card another 30 days. Take a look at it. You're probably going to see it below $20, and that's a good time to buy. The foil is going to be pricey no matter how you look at it. I wouldn't rush into that. I would let this one sit, see how it plays out. But this card still is a very good card and has lots of uses. So don't underestimate cards like this. because when they drop in value, people have just kind of like, they got bored. They moved on. You don't have to move on. You can recognize the card for what it is and make sure you grab yourself a copy. All right, time to talk about the fetches. Fetchlands, Fetchlands, Fetchlands. I don't know why they've bought them so low. I don't know what's going on. Modern Horizons 2 is pretty much done. People aren't cracking this thing by the mile. They're leaving it alone. And a lot of those collector boxes can have anywhere from 2 to 6 copies inside. Wizards is not going to be reprinting it anytime soon. I don't think it's coming back around. They know they've bottomed this card out. And in the last few weeks, I've noticed it's just starting to tick up a little bit. A little bit here, a little bit there. But these cards were as high as $60, $70. And you think right now, $22, $23 for a Scalding Tarn is going to hold? Do you really think it's going to hold at that price? I got news for you. I got a lot of data that says it's not going to happen because it hasn't happened in the past. They did bludgeon it with a hammer, putting this many copies out there, making Modern Horizons 2 just so epically memorable. Like, you just can't forgive or forget that set. But pay attention to that, guys. It's going to go up. All right. Now the Balor. I just want to mention this one. It is bottomed out. It is cheap. I bought myself a playset of 4 for a couple of bucks each. But I like this card. It's a 5/5 for 5. It's got flying, and it's got triggered ability. It's got nice little effects that can mess with people. And I like that. In my Throw Bowl deck, I'm going to put one in. I got a full art foil. Only cost me like $8. I don't care. I think it looks beautiful. It reminds me of the D&D theme. And it's one of those cards that may come back around. If it goes any lower than this, I'll probably buy a couple of play sets. I just got myself 4 plus a full art one. But it's one of those cards, because of the multiple abilities you can play off of it, it might see more play than people realize. All right, Fable Passage. Again, another card, Throne of Eldraine. Go for the OG original. And you look at this card and realize it's been bludgeoned pretty hard. It was up as $20. Now it's as low as $5. It's not getting a reprint. If it's not getting a reprint soon, which it probably is not, it is a good time to grab a couple play sets of 4. Make sure you got your collection done. I would go for the original ones at this point and just enjoy the awesomeness of having Fable Passages. Sure, only lets you go in there and get a basic land, but that doesn't matter much when you have that much versatility in a card like this. It's just going to be beautiful to have it. Can't say enough. And if you can afford it, go for like the full art foils. Go for the cool stuff, because Eldraine was that first big flashy set we had with collector boxes. It's worth it. Okay, the World Tree. We're going to end things off here with the World Tree. This is not an expensive card. But the mana manipulation that comes from this when you get to the 6th land is just undeniable. It's worth paying the $6 to get the full art versions. That's why I put this one in particular up there. Get the full art foils. Get them and just enjoy them. They are amazing. They're underpriced. And you're going to have a lot of use with these inside all the other ones, like, Yavimaya, Cradle of Growth, Tomb of Urborg, Cabal Coffers. There's just so much you can do with lands like this that is just underestimated and underappreciated right now. Going forward, you don't know how these are going to play out. But we're not going back to call time any soon. That card's not getting a reprint anytime soon, and it can be used in so many decks. Even if you just splash in green, its ability to give you every mana color that makes people's land destruction, if they happen to have any in Commander, deal with that card, ties things up. It goes along very nicely. I really think it's an amazing card that's probably going to see some play later on. It's everywhere right now until it rotates out. And right when it rotates, when it's at its lowest, right at that little pinnacle point, that's the time to grab yourself some copies of it. I mean, I can't say enough good things about it. I've used it many times. So I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you had a good time. Like to see your comments, what you think about the cards I've showed you today. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? That's what we're talking about. Let's see where people's minds are at. Let's have a good time doing it. Guys, I hope you're having an awesome day. Wherever you are in the world of Magic, enjoy it. It's a great game. I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow, because, this is Friday. We're jumping into the hot top 10 on the weekend. Let's have a good time, and let's see where it goes. And of course, a big shout out to all the fantastic patrons on the channel. Thanks again for that continued support, guys. Looking forward to getting through to the 10K party as soon as I can. Have an awesome day. You're at the end. Nobody's missed it. The 10K purchase party has not happened. Okay, I haven't done it yet. I've got to finish off doing the 10K wheel for the 10K box. That'll happen on the live stream this weekend. We'll get that wheel rolling. We'll see which person comes out on top. Then I will film all of that. And then we'll jump into the last part. And guess what? There is a surprise coming that I'd like to share with you all, but it's going to happen when we do the 10K purchase party. I'll have something there that nobody expected, and I can't wait to share it with you guys, and you are the special people who are hearing it from my lips right now. I won't have it in hand, but I'm going to have it, so it's going to be good. I can put it up on the video, and you guys will get to share in the glory of what's about to happen, because you're the only ones who are going to know. Thanks a lot, guys. Have an awesome day. Let's rock this weekend. Yeah. Hot top 10 reserve list. That's what I'm talking about. A little strut in the stride,